What is going on YouTube? Steve Grelick here. I'm your host Enrico, and I'm actually here to do a deck profile. Wow, it's pretty random with me. Just doing a quick deck profile, and I'm probably gonna sell a deck because I'm actually getting a little bit tired of playing it. I've been playing Glenneos for a couple months now, especially when it just came out with my boy CK, and consistently topping with it. This Glenneos build is not the World Ends build; it's the actual beatdown build. I find the beatdown very more consistent than the World's End because, in all honesty, people just try to stay away from putting me at 5 damage, or God forbid, if I play an unlocking deck like Gold Paladins, it's an automatic loss. But the deck runs really well. I love playing it. It's really fun and very consistent, and you guys will basically see everything. I'll explain everything. So let's go straight to deck profile. Deck profile. Yay, deck profile. Yay. 3 Glenneoses, obviously they're broken. Most builds I see play 4, but playing 4 is too much because if you have that extra Glenneos in the hand, it's pretty dead. I hate having extra Glenneos in the hand. Like it's bad. It's honestly just terrible because it's a dead grade 3 in your hand. But you need to ride him as a Vanguard. If you don't, basically, you will lose. That's why this deck has a backup grade 3 to run, which is a reverse cradle. But I'll explain that when I show you guys later. Glenneos, his automatic effects, basically all reverse units become Link Joker, and all reverse units goes +4. So that's already broken enough. But then his other effect, when you call a reverse unit, you can lock one card on your opponent's side for free, just by calling a reverse unit. So that's retarded enough. So I can basically mess up my opponent's columns, mess up my opponent's plays, his strategy next turn. It's retarded. It makes no sense on why Link Joker is this OP. Obviously, this deck has a good matchup against a lot of reverse decks like Rebirth and all that stuff because it's Limit Break. It basically discard one reverse unit, counter boss 1, and all your opponent's lock units become Omega locked. Even though I haven't locked them myself, if my opponent locks his own units, the Omega lock still is in effect that turn. So say if I go against a Rebirth deck, I go Omega lock his turn, he goes Limit Break, lock all his 5 units. At the end of his turn, they stay locked because my Omega lock effect is still on the board. So basically, Omega Glenneos just destroys any reverse decks at all. So I just highly recommend if you're playing against Glenneos, do not activate your reverse effects unless you know your opponent's not going to Omega lock you. But yeah, so I play 3 Glenneos, and let's go over the reverse units because everyone's really iffy on what to play and how many to play. So as you guys can see, I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 reverse units. So in total, I'm actually playing 13 grade 3s, which is it's nuts. This is probably the only deck you'll see have 10 grade 3s. Well, mainly because first turn, if you can, you want to try to activate World Ends effect in your starter to ditch as many reverse units as possible so you can get them back with the grade 1s, so you can combo off. That's what this whole deck's basically of, the beatdown version. You gotta combo off a lot. So if I can, in the first 3 turns, if I can keep ditching a reverse unit and still have a reverse unit in hand, I'm basically gonna win that game because that's already OP. Because that's an amazing hand. To keep discarding a reverse unit for 3 turns, you're already a good start. It's amazing. I love playing it. It is basically I always win that game. And I play 2 reverse units cradles because of actual Link Joker units. So if I don't have Glenneos, he's my backup grade 3 that I have to play, unfortunately. It's not bad, but I would prefer to want to play another. I would want to play Glenneos, but he's just a backup grade 3, just in case if you don't get Glenneos, which does happen. I can't promise you that it won't happen, but it does happen. Yeah, so I play 10 reverse units. It's crazy. For grade 2s, I play 2 5 rated color maker. At one point, I was playing 4, but then I noticed that I was like, you know what, I want to drop it down and play more of the grade 1s. Basically, for the fact that she switches out for grade 1 whenever I lock a unit up outside the field, and kind of plus 1 and switch off for one of grade 1s. She's amazing, don't get me wrong, she's the best combo in the deck, but she's also an extra counterblast, which I do not like. She thins out the deck, she brings out a grade 1 booster. A grade 1 booster actually makes combos with this deck, but I still like the fact that she's an extra counterblast. So at the moment, I'm currently only playing 3. Some builds play 4. I used to play 4, but then I realized playing 3 of Client Makers actually is a whole lot more consistent. Unfortunately, it raised up the percentage of me getting grade locked. Before, I would be like 1 out of 10 being grade locked, and now that I'm playing with 7 grade 3s, I'm like 3 or 2 out of 10 not being grade locked, which sucks, but it's a risk you have to take. I don't know if you want to play that build in regionals, but it's really, really consistent to play 3 Client Makers. It's not that bad. And next we got 4 Magnet Hollows. The best grade 2 for the deck. Basically, when I hit my opponent's Vanguard, count plus 1, search off a reverse unit. 1, it does on the deck. 2, it gets you a reverse unit to the hand, which the deck relies on. And 3, it's definitely a pressure card. Like, everyone always tries to block this. Everyone tries to do one pass, and when I get that one trigger and it goes through, I'm just like, yes, yes. It's pretty broken. It definitely makes huge plays in deck in the match, and it's one of those few grade 2s in the deck that whenever I play with anybody. So 4 Magnet Hollows is a definite must. I played 2 Redemption Flippers. It's a 6k booster, it's not that big, but if it's behind a reverse unit, it makes a 21k column, so it's not that bad. Basically, if I have 2 reverse units, play him in the field, I can up 2 damage, which is not that bad. But I highly recommend just play 2 of him. You can play 3, but for me, I've been playing 2 of him, and it's really, really good to just play 2. I'm more than happy with that one. I played 3 of the Glimneos Interceptors, which is broken. Like, a lot of people actually hate playing against it. It's like a Quinton Wall, in all honesty. It works out really well. It's a 7k booster if I actually want to booster fit, or 7k Vanguard that I would like to ride. Please excuse me for saying that. It's pretty broken. It's not fair. It's like an extra perfect guard, except I'm not counterblasting. Instead, I'm just putting this in your circle and you're attacking one of my grade 3 reverse units. So basically, it's like an extra perfect guard, which is not that bad. And then the broken grade 1, which does things. Basically, if I have 2 reverse units or 1 reverse unit, counterblast 1, add back to the hand the amount of reverse units I have in the field. So if I have 1 reverse unit in the field, call, counterblast 1, I can add back 1 reverse unit from my graveyard to my hand. Or I have 2 reverse units, call, counterblast, and add back 2 reverse units to the hand, which is plus 1. But if you think about it, honestly, it's actually plus 2. Just for the fact that if you ditch your grade 3 reverse units and you call this out to the field, it's technically a plus 2 if you think about it. If you add it up in the end, which is great because that's what this deck relies on: just scoring a plus, having hand size advantage, and doing combos with the deck. Please keep in mind that if you're gonna play this deck, you need to keep in check on how many of these grade 1s, how many of the damage flippers they have left in the deck, because they actually really matter. You gotta like plan out your plays. You can't just like it's definitely not an autopilot deck. If you mess up, you mess up. If you mess up, you lose. If you play right, most likely you win, unless your opponent has a better play than you. But it's a deck they definitely cannot mess up on. You have to play the best way as possible, because if you mess up, most likely you will lose. It's definitely not an autopilot deck. It's really you have to think out your plays basically. I've done multiple combos every single turn. Sometimes not every turn. I mean, it just depends on when you gotta mega lock your opponent, when you gotta lock, which units you're gonna lock, how many reverse units you need back in your hand, which reverse units you need to ditch. I mean, like I said, it's definitely not an autopilot deck. You gotta think about your plays. You gotta plan it out, and if you mess up, you get messed up huge. So that's what I feel like it is. I mean, I may be wrong. I might be the worst player in the world. So if you guys want, just comment down below and see and write down what's your point of view. Like I said, I might be wrong, but I mean, like I said, let's talk about it and we'll discuss about it. So I play 4 of the red ones that actually does things, does big things, and I play 4 perfect reds. It's pretty standard. Basically, if you have Glennails in the hand, you're gonna ditch your perfect guard and ditch your Glennails, because Glennails, an extra Glennails in the hand is a dead grade 3. It's a dead card in the hand, and I hate it with passion whenever I have an extra Glennails. At one point, I was playing 4 Glennails, and I was like, oh, that's fine, I have perfect guards. No, it's so dead, and I hate it with a passion. Now I'm playing 3, it's getting better, but, I mean, like I said, you need to play perfect guards to ditch like Glennails or ditch a Cradle from hand, because you need other cards for a shield. So you definitely need to play 4 perfect guards, and good luck getting these, because these actually went up a lot. These are pretty expensive right now, I don't know why. Actually, no, I do know. It's because the Legion that just came out is coming out. For trigger wise, I play 5 draw triggers. Late game, you don't need it. Early game, you do need hand size advantage. So I do play 5 draw triggers. And man, because early game, in any Glennails match, we do not block early. We only block early against certain decks, like Novell and whatnot. But in every other deck, we do not block early. We just take you. We just don't care. And when I usually take the damage, I'm hoping it's on the draw trigger. At times it is, at times not. But playing the 5 draw trigger is actually helping me a lot with the hand size and getting the reverse hints I need, getting me the grade 1s I need, or color makers I need, or the Glennails I need. So the draw triggers actually work out really well in this deck, and I'm happy with that. Playing 5 draw triggers. So you guys already know I'm playing only 7 crits. Play 7 crits. I don't need to push them that much already because you guys already know how the beatdown works. The beatdown build basically works on me having big columns that my opponent cannot guard against, and I have to take like 21k columns, 22k columns, and if I get a trigger, it goes to 26 or 20 or 27k columns. So the crits is not really necessary, but with the 7 crits, I mean, if my opponent's, obviously my opponent's going to take the damage from the big columns all the time, because they can't stop it and they don't want to ditch their hand for it. They want to risk getting the heal trigger, and if they do, they're going to have 5 damage, so the crit's not that necessary. But getting a crit early game isn't a bad thing at all. Crit early turns is really good, but it's not that necessary in late game. But because, like I said, you already have columns, and most likely they'll have 5 damage, so I'm only playing 7 crits at the moment. It's not, like I said, it's not that necessary to play 8 or more than 8 because you're playing columns. You already have columns that don't need to be helped anymore. So like I said, it's a strategic beatdown build for Glennails. I love playing it. It's really awesome. And whatnot. And obviously, 4 heal triggers, pretty standard. Why wouldn't I play heal triggers? And the grade 0 searcher for dump reverse unit and then get and look top 5 for any legion card, which is retarded, which is broken, but it's whatever. So this whole deck's for sale. I'm trying to sell it. Obviously, I'm getting a little bored playing Glennails. It's a fun deck, but I've been playing for months now ever since it came out. It's just like, I gotta play something else. I'm trying to sell it. I don't know what I want exactly per se for it. Get it? I'm using the word per se. You guys are so funny. I'm using the word per se. Yeah, I'm just trying to sell it. None of the cards are SP. I wish they were. But I'm probably gonna be asking for the perfect has of money actually. So probably gonna be asking for at least one. Yeah, I'm gonna ask for 150, and I'm gonna let you guys make your offers. So 150, I'm gonna sell deck, and it will come with deck box, and you gotta pay for shipping, which is $3. No, I'm sorry, which is $2. And if you want tracking, it's an extra $1, so it's 153 in total. Please PM me offers. Do not comment down below. please personal message me, which is PM, obviously. I do take cash and concealed cash and PayPal. You know, friends and family pays everything off. The cards are mint. Everything in the deck's mint. Will come with the sleeves. The sleeves aren't used. They're not mint per se, but they're pretty good. So you know, it's all about that perspective and whatnot. And yeah, so I'm doing this deck profile, and almost probably gonna sell the deck. But the deck, it's really consistent. I love it. It's fun. Like I said, it's not an autopilot deck, which most people think it is. I mean, it's definitely not. You gotta make your plays. It's not that hard to. I mean, it's not that hard to like think about it. But if you mess up, and you lose. So with that, I will leave you guys here with that. Later, YouTube. Peace.